With the VoiceOver Match Dailycast for today, Tuesday, July 23rd, I'm Chris Lanning from NeighborhoodStage.com. As I mentioned before, this week on episode 6 of the VoiceOver Match podcast, my guest was James Mazur, executive producer and founder of Mazur Studios. In today's clip from the podcast, I asked James if he writes the scripts himself. We also discussed some of the key things to keep in mind when writing scripts for explainer videos.
This is interesting, and I get asked this question a lot. Personally, I have a diverse career, so that I was a senior analyst in Canada, and I actually owned and operated a software company with 30 employees. I've been all the way, worked in 6 different countries, worked in the big companies and small companies. So every time I farm out a script to be written, I'm actually never happy with the results I get. Because in order to explain somebody else's business, you really have to have a wealth of experience to draw from.
Absolutely.
I mean, I love writing the scripts. I really do. It's a creative process that I get to go start to finish with the client. And whether we're talking about big data in California or we're talking about satellite technology in Maryland, it all comes down to what is the best way and the best words to use in order to explain a product or service. So I'm doing them all.
So very hands-on when it comes to script.
Yes, very much. It's the key to a good video.
And that makes sense. And I think as you pointed out, a lot of people don't consider that. They're so worried about getting wrapped up in the graphics and the voiceover and the music that they miss the message.
Yeah. In North America, I think there's probably about 300 companies that do explainer videos and these types of videos. There is definitely a top 5. And those top 5 are set apart by their script writing. That is where you watch the video, and when you finish the video, you've learned something, you are engaged, and you want to know more. So a lot of the young companies out there, that's their next step. That's where they have to go. And you're absolutely right, Chris. The graphics aren't everything. Not at all.
Now, someone like me, I like to write scripts. I like to put together those engaging things, but I have zero graphic talent. So to me, graphics is kind of everything because I can put the script together.
Yeah.
But it goes back to years ago, I directed theater. And whenever we do a show, it was you have to do it through an emotional journey because if you just tell a story and don't take them through the emotions, it's just not going to stick. They're not going to feel satisfied when they're done with it.
And what you're talking about right there is what I call good content. That's where marketing has to go for internet. It just has to. As you see, and everybody knows, I'd say about 90% of all the content marketing on the internet is very poorly done because it has no emotional connection, no response. It has no real connection to the audience. And that is where script and audio and visual all have to be put together in order to get that response.
I think too many people are just going for a commercial. They're stuck in the whole ideas of the 30-second, 60-second commercial.
Yeah.
And they're leaving out the story when they really need to be more like a Super Bowl commercial, really get people, grab them and sell them.
Exactly. And it's also knowing your audience. If I am creating a script that the 2 guys that say I met with are chemical engineers, double PhDs in chemical engineering. So those guys actually speak a different language than you and I. It is so highly advanced and complex, and I have to go back and look up 20 different words because I don't even know what they mean.
Exactly.
Now, and so then am I translating that for the common people that don't know about chemical engineering? Or is my audience another group of engineers? If it is, then I have to stay with that so that it won't be the Super Bowl commercial, but it's going to be an advert that an engineering group will associate with and be entertained by.
Now, still to come this week on the VoiceOver Match Dailycast, we're going to finally find out where Mazur Studios sources their voice talent. James is going to offer some advice to voice talent when auditioning for Mazur Studios. And we're going to find out what future opportunities Mazur Studios may have. Now, to hear the podcast in its entirety, don't forget you can head over to voiceovermatch.com. There you can find all the ways that you can listen and subscribe. With your VoiceOver Match Dailycast, I'm Chris Lanning from neighborhoodstage.com. Have a great day.